Hello, welcome to episode number 523 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We're here for Raw for week 2 of May 2024, and yeah, we're on the road on the Raw side to Clash at the Castle. We're going to find out in our main event tonight who will challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at that show. Will it be CM Punk, Chad Gable, LA Knight, or Seth Rollins in a blockbuster fatal 4-way? We're going to find out in our main event. We then also have the match determine the next number contender for the Intercontinental Championship, being Humberto Carrillo against Trick Williams. And a whole lot more. We have the tag match, finally, Maki and Mina of J-Flow against the Kylie and Kenzie Page. And what was the other match we had announced for the show? I can't remember. I think that's it, yeah. Without any more further ado, no, it's Rhea Ripley against Roxy Perez non-title. Yes, that's the other match, I couldn't remember. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. The show kicks off with, just, like they do in real life now, where they show the wrestlers arriving to kick off the show. We see CM Punk pulling up out of his car. He's here. Seth Rollins, he's here. Chad Gable, he's here. LA Knight, yeah, he's here. Pulling up in fast to meet the Slim Jim car. And yeah, just getting our 4 main eventers ready for tonight's big main event. And then we're actually going to open up the actual show with wrestling. Trick Williams takes on Dominic Mysterio with a future Intercontinental Championship shot on the line. Right. There's a lot to process here. So, I'm going to take you can all read, and I'm trying to, process this right now. So Trick Williams was supposed to win this match. Yeah. Obviously he was, because Dominic's not allowed a title shot for the foreseeable future. Because that was the goal, was he had to quickly, because I failed a challenge, and I had to flip the belt straight over, and it was the IC title that landed on it, then Dominic's not allowed to challenge for another 6 months, so obviously Trick Williams was going to win this. But the game, right, has said no to that, and has had Dominic go over, calling an audible, because during the match, Trick Williams sustained a family death. So Dirty Dom has murdered one of Trick's family members during this match, which sends the match to 61. Trick's head's all over the place because Dominic's just murdered one of his family members in the front row, and I guess Dominic gets the title shot, but he's not allowed the title shot. So now I've got to, book my way out of this loophole that TEW's put me in. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, awesome. But no, obviously, the actual finish I'm going to have to adapt to would be Dominic cheating thanks to Beatrice interference or whatever. And yeah. 68 for Trick, 72 for Dominic. So yeah, that's throwing me through a loop. And what one interesting way to start this show. Already things are going wrong. Thanks, Triple H. Trick Williams sustained a family death in this match. Nice. So yeah, we get this segment, which was supposed to be Trick Williams celebrating, his win tonight. But yeah, I guess instead, Ken Patrick goes Trick, Okay, so I've got to try and improvise this all on the fly now. So sorry if it's a bit all over the place. It's Trick, tonight you had the chance to really step into singles competition. After your big victory over Carmelo Hayes. And, you came up short, and Trick grabs the mic. He goes, I didn't come up short, Kevin. You're talking to the Trick Willie here. I'm on top of my game. But Dirty Dom and his slam ball group of friends, they got one over on me tonight. But that's okay. Because Dominic, you keep that title shot warm. I'll make sure you ain't going to get it. You ain't going to be Intercontinental Champion ever again under Trick Willie's watch. Let me tell you about that. So, have fun. Enjoy a little victory, because sooner or later, I'm coming to get my receipt. Yeah, Mike slammed down. Boom, but yeah, apparently Dominic now has a title shot that he's literally not allowed per the challenges and punishments of this series, so leave that one with me. I'll try and book my way out of that. Humberto Carrillo is then, backstage with Kathy Kelly. And she goes, you just saw Dominic Mysterio cheating to defeat Trick Williams tonight. So it seems he's next in line for your shot at your Intercontinental Championship, getting that rematch that he's not yet earned. And Humberto goes, I've never been against giving Dominic a rematch for this title, so long as he proves that he's earned one, and what I just saw out there tonight just makes me, extra sure that Dominic, he still doesn't deserve a title shot, cheating to beat Trick Williams in a big match like that, It's disgraceful, Kathy Kelly. That's not the heart of a champion. That's not how I go about being champion around here. Then Jay White and the Guns walk past. He goes, nice big break I see you get here, Birdo. Dirty Dom cheating to get himself a shot at your title. But if you ever want a real challenge, ever want a real challenger to step up and try and take that title from you, someone who'll do it properly, you give those Switchblade a call. Because after I destroyed AJ Styles, I destroyed Finn, I'm eyeing up my first piece of championship gold here in WWE. Then he walks off and Humberto goes, well, they said being a champion is going to put a target on your back. Obviously me and Humberto knew, or me and Tozawa knew that when we had the tag titles, but, now here's this, in the singles division. We then just quickly cut back to the women's locker room. Xia Li's in there, Lyra and Kelly, Violette Martar, Beatrice Vargas, I guess, has got back in there after helping Dominic. And then Amory Porter, she's still in there, still upset and sulking about last week. When Becky storms in. And everybody sort of stops their chatter. As soon as Becky walks in, everyone just turns to stare at her. Becky just drops her bag to the floor and goes, what? Well, what's everybody looking at me for, huh? What's the matter with you all? Huh? What's this about, okay? Why are you staring at me? I'm a former WrestleMania headliner, former Women's World Champion. I don't need this crap. I don't need to take any crap from any of you in here because I'm above all of you. Kelly walks up and she says, hey, Becky, how you doing? Becky goes, do I know you? And Kelly goes, yeah, you do actually, you're the one who brought me to Raw, 2 years ago. Becky goes, I thought I recognized your face, but, I've met so many people, that ordinary faces like yours just sort of go in and out of my brain. I met the president, my New York Times best-selling book, Becky Lynch the Man, Not Your Average Girl, on sale now, hardback on Amazon. Yeah, I was doing a book tour, with the president, so, I'm kind of a big deal, New York Times best-selling author, maybe give it a read sometime. Kelly goes, sure, me and Becky, me and Lyra, we looked up to you, but lately you've become a bit of a bitch. And then Becky just sees him walk up and goes, well, bitch yourself, I don't need this crap, I'm already losing my goddamn mind around here. That's when Gigi Dolan just walks into frame, next to Becky, we don't see her face, we just see her, from behind, putting her stuff in the locker room. And Becky just turns around, sees her hair, throws her arms up in the air and goes, and now I'm seeing double. Okay, we got more Becky Lynch wannabes living in this locker room. And she storms out. And then Gigi just sort of turns around and goes, takes her headphone off and go, huh? What was all that about? 81. Sure, for a lack of psychology, I guess this is pretty good. Rhea Ripley defeats Roxy Perez in 12 minutes and 30 with a Riptide. Defeating Roxy after she came to the aid of Alexa Bliss last week. 83 for Roxy Perez, 94 for Rhea Ripley. After the match, Rhea takes the mic. And she goes, so, I'm 2 days removed, from having one hell of a brawl with Raquel Rodriguez over on SmackDown, That's a real challenger. Somebody more my speed. Somebody my own size that I still managed to destroy and put down. So imagine, how irritated I was I had to come back to Raw and wrestle 2 girls at a combined, 6'3". Okay, Alexa thinks she's so much better than me because she got a win over Tatum at Vengeance, and now she thinks she's owed a shot at my championship. And then Tatum takes the mic and goes, well, Alexa, Mommy is always on top. And sure, I may have lost to you, but Mommy has handled me appropriately and given me all the adequate punishments I need to get back on top of my game. So if you want a shot at Mommy, good luck. Alexa does come out. She goes, I expected all of this from you, Rhea, because you are, without a question, possibly the most dominant women's superstar here in WWE over, the last 4 or 5 years? Okay. I get it. I realize that I'm the underdog here, even though I've been 5-time women's champion. People still seem to disrespect me. And it's fine, because look at me and look at you. Obviously, I'm the underdog here. But here's the thing, Rhea. I've beaten women bigger than you before. I've beaten women, more badass than you before. I've beaten Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, you name them. And if you're holding that championship, the one championship here in WWE on the main roster that I'm yet to hold is that Liberty Championship. So, Rhea, next week here on Monday Night Raw, in the main event, I challenge you to a match for that title. Rhea just laughs and goes, You want me? You want me for this? Next week, you're on. Alexa goes, oh, and another thing, by the way. If you're such a fighting champion, you leave the weird girl over there, in the back. And then the team just sort of turns to Rhea and goes, she just called me weird. And then Rhea, puts her hands over Tatum's ears. She goes, no, don't listen to her. She's not worth it. She's scum. But yeah, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Liberty Championship match next week. We then see the New Day backstage. And Xavier Woods, he's the main talker here. He goes, boys, so the WWE draft has come and gone. It appears that we, the New Day, will remain here on Monday Night Raw. Now, honestly, we've kind of done everything there is to do here on Raw, so I was kind of hoping that maybe we would make our way over to SmackDown. But the plan remains the same. We're coming up, we're 2 months away from the King of the Ring tournament, a tournament that my whole life I've dreamed of winning. A lot of people grew up dreaming to be WWE champion. A lot of people grew up dreaming of winning the Royal Rumble. For me, it was King of the Ring. And I have been in the tournament once before, and I got screwed out of it by a man I thought was my best friend. But now, it means more than just winning King of the Ring for myself. I'm doing it for the New Day, doing it for the Prophecy, doing it to make sure every single one of us gets to the top. Because New Day rocks. That's when the Grand Jury walk in. Priest laughs and goes, you, King of the Ring? Don't make me laugh. Okay, Raw is here to be taken over, and Raw is here to be taken over by the Grand Jury. So you may think that you've got what it takes to be king, but you're looking at El Rey de la Ring. And Woods goes, well, if you want to talk those words, how about we back them up tonight, me and you, one-on-one. I'll leave my boys behind, you leave your boys behind. Priest laughs and goes, see you there. So yeah, Damian Priest versus Xavier Woods tonight. I know we are two months away from King of the Ring, but, it's a big deal. Winner of that goes to SummerSlam to wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, people would already, that and Money in the Bank, people would already be, scheming to get in because, they're big events. We then get earlier on today, Carlito is looking around backstage. He goes, Orange. He walks up to Odyssey Jones and he goes, hey, have you seen Orange? And Odyssey goes, yeah, he's over there. I think he's hanging with the wrong crowd. And then we sort of just see Panic Gotham see a D'Angelo family meeting just down the hallway. And Orange Cassidy is just chilling, in the middle there. It's leaning up against one of the crates, just listening in. And then Carlito walks into frame and Tony D goes, hey, wise guy, what do you think you're doing over here? This is top secret meeting going on here for the family, I plan to take over Monday Night Raw, it ain't for pipsqueaks like you. He goes, I'm just here to, get him, my friend. And Tony D goes, who's your friend? And Carlito just points and goes, Orange over there. And then Tony D turns around, Orange Cassidy's there, just goes, hey. He goes, what? How long has he been here? How much of that did you hear? And Orange just goes, I don't know, I wasn't really listening. Anyway, me and Carlito, we got a tag title match coming up soon. So, you guys want to fight? And Tony D goes, Stacks and Two Dimes would love to see you out there tonight. And then we cut to the ring for that match. Gets a 65. Carlito and Orange Cassidy, our apples and oranges, lovely duo here, do pick up the win. Orange pins Two Dimes with a super kick. 74 for Orange, 39 for Carlito, 51 for Two Dimes, and a 48 for Stacks. And yeah, big win for, well, not really a big win, but a win for Carlito and Orange Cassidy. After the match, Carlito and Orange make their way over to the Prime Hydration station outside. Carlito's looking at all the bottles, I think it's all the blue raspberry ones. So there's no apple flavoured Prime, so he doesn't care for it. And Orange Cassidy, he picks up a bottle. He takes a sip. And I imagine the very cutscene, like, you'd imagine it would be, like, very dramatic, like, the way wrestlers would drink the Prime, they'd, like, swig it back and, like, spit it out or whatever. It's just comically, like, 10 seconds of him, like, unscrewing the bottle cap, just taking a sip of water, and then just screwing the bottle cap back on and putting it back on the station, like, without saying a word. Then he just walks off. Yeah. You don't get any verdict on what he thinks of the Prime. He's just had a sip. We then get a backstage interview. Kathy Kelly goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, please, it's my honor to welcome back to Monday Night Raw the duo of Zoe Stark and Sol Ruca." Sol Ruca handstands her way in. Zoe Stark just grumpily walks into frame. Kathy goes, "Now, Sol, it's been a couple of months since we've seen you here on Raw. You were out of action, with a personal injury. And, Zoe's been trying to hold things down while you were gone." And Sol goes, "We know no disrespect to Zoe, she's a hell of a talent, but my absence, I could feel it. I could feel Zoe's absence with me when I was recovering from my hernia, and I could feel my absence with Zoe when she was, attempting and coming up short in all those big matches she was wrestling without us. But we're here to take over the tag team division like we started. You look at us, you may not think we mesh very well, but, with my outgoing lifestyle and her, super serious attitude, that's what makes us the greatest tag team here on Raw." Then Bianca sort of laughs and just walks in and goes, "You, greatest tag team on Raw? Girl, You see, I'd be the greatest tag team here on Raw all by myself, but Jakara, she's just here for the ride. But, after last week, I could easily walk in and take those tag team championships at any time, but I've got more important fish to fry. I've got, like Bayley. I'm taking that WWE Women's Championship, but I'd be more than happy to welcome you two back to Raw tonight." And so we start goes, "You've made a mistake, Bianca, if you wanted to get a shot at Bayley. A defeat probably isn't the best way to go about it. See you out there." So yeah, Sol Ruca is back, and her and Zoe are against Bianca and Jakara later on tonight. Speaking of women's tag team action, we get Mackie and Mina of J-Flow teaming up to take on the Page Sisters. I imagine before the match, all 5 members of J-Flow are in Gorilla, getting all hyped up, doing their, vocal walks, going la 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 la, and all that. And then Mina, stops Tam, Mizuki, and Mariko as they go out. She goes, "No, just us two tonight. We need to prove that we can still team together." Mina then high-fives Mackie, and they walk out for the tag team match. Page Sisters, they've been trying to recruit Mina over the last couple of weeks. There's been a bit of weird miscommunication between Mackie and Mina. And then it all comes to a head in this match. Mackie does go for the tag, and Mina does jump off the apron. She starts doing, a dance, shaking her tits on the outside as Mackie looks on in shock, turns around, and the Page Sisters do pin Mackie to win this tag team match. 73 for Mina and Mackie, 35 for Kylie Page, and a 46 for Kenzie. After the match, the Page Sisters continue to beat down on Mackie, and Mina does join in, attacking her. It feels weird to talk like this on video, but it's Mina I'm dealing with here, so, realistically it is what happens. She rubs her boobs in Mackie's face, and, yeah, leaves with the Page Sisters as the rest of J-Flow then do rush out to, check on Mackie. So, yeah, a lot of you have been pitching for Mina to go solo. I guess you all saw her on AEW and were like, yeah, what one look at Mina Shirakawa does that to a man. But, yeah, in something of a big moment here in this series, J-Flow, who have been together since, it's got to be 4 years now, because they debuted at the first SmackDown pay-per-view, so that would have been week 4 of May 2020. I've lost it. They're a man down. Mina Shirakawa, I guess, is the Zayn Malik of J-Flow. And has walked out and sided with the Page Sisters, which also, an interesting part here is, she's kind of right, because Mackie has been kind of a dick, but she's our dick, so, boo. But yes, a new trio has formed. Mina has aligned with Kylie Page and Kenzie Page. Speaking of alliances in the women's division, Tiffany Stratton and Mariah May, they arrive once again, and once again they see Anne-Marie sort of sulking in the hallway. And Tiffany just laughs there on the floor and goes, "Can you believe her? Can you imagine if we were a loser like her?" And Mariah goes, "You know what, Tiffany, hold up, She goes, "What?" She goes, you've been, trying to get, become the women's world champion recently. You won that battle royal, and you've been saying that, I could use a tag team partner. I could use a friend. I could use somebody, another apprentice of yours, you could say." She goes, "Yeah? What about it?" She goes, "I think she could be the one." Tiffany just turns to Anne-Marie on the floor, and she goes, "Her, really?" And Mariah goes, "Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? She's got nobody. She lost all her friends." Tiffany goes, "You're being too reasonable here. If you want to hang around with losers, do it in your own time. Okay? Toodles." And then Tiffany walks off. And Mariah does walk out to Anne-Marie. She goes, "Hey." And Anne-Marie looks up and goes, "Hey, what?" She goes, "I see you're still, rather upset. Want to talk about it?" And Anne-Marie sort of does get up and go follow Mariah May off. We then cut back to the ring. I imagine what happened there is that's where we cut to ads. And then we cut back, the commentators are talking, like running down something. And then we hear Top Dollar over the mic goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold it. Hold the show, hold the show." He slides into the ring. He goes, "For all of you, I'm sure you won't know who I am. I'm Top Dollar, dual sports superstar. But, I haven't really been a factor on Monday Night Raw in a long time, so you may have forgotten who I am. The WWE draft has come and gone, and apparently Top Dollar's on any of these rosters around now. I spoke to Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, and they got nothing for me. I lost a match to Ilya Dragunov, and now apparently I'm banned from SmackDown. Which is why, Dave, if you can hear me, if you can hear the sound of my voice, please, I'm begging you. I need this job, man, I gave up football to be here. I gave up rap to be here. This is my only shot I've got left, I can't lose this gig." Bronson Steiner comes out. And he gets into the ring. A referee's in the ring as well. We're getting an impromptu Bronson Steiner versus Top Dollar match. Ding, ding, ding. He spears Top Dollar. 1, 2, 3, pins him. Bronson Steiner have an 88, 64 for Top Dollar. And yeah, poor old Top Dollar. He's not having the best of luck right now. And yeah, it may well continue as he tries to find his home in this post-draft world. Speaking of people who have lost tonight, Roxy Perez, she's frustrated. She's like, ripping off her wristbands and shit like that. The only way Connell TEW knows how to show frustration with a defeat. And she sort of stops as Cora Jade sort of just walks into frame. Just bursts into laughter, pointing and laughing at Roxy and then walking off. And Roxy just rolls her eyes, just glares at Cora as he walks off, shaking her head. And then, continues to storm off in anger. Finn Balor and AJ, we then catch up with them. And AJ approaches Finn, he goes, "I saw last week, Jay White got you too." And Finn goes, "Yeah, he got lucky last week. But, I think it's time to stop worrying about this and, focus on our own careers and not what Jay White's doing." And AJ goes, "I was concerned, about my career, what was happening here, Finn, but it makes me relieved to actually see you lose." And Finn's like, "Come again?" And he goes, "I was starting to feel like I wasn't phenomenal anymore. But seeing you lose and you're still on top of your game, so knowing that Jay White could be you, that made me feel better because it means that maybe I haven't lost as much as I thought I'd lost, Finn." And Finn's like, "Well, thanks, I guess." And he goes, "It's a compliment. Anyway, we need to not beat ourselves up about this. We need to remind the world who we are. We need to remind her that we are the phenomenal AJ Styles. You are Finn Balor. We are the OG leaders, and we made it to the top. We're both world champions twice for a reason, Finn. We gotta remind the world that." And Oro Mensah overhears this. He goes, "Hey, my guys, I hear you talking about, wanting to prove yourself that you're still guarded at that world championship level. Well, funny enough, so does my guy Montez Ford." And Finn goes, well, you look at that, you know. It seems a challenge has fallen right into our laps. We'll see you next week. Yeah, Ora Mensah and Montez Ford teaming up next week against Finn Balor and AJ Styles in tag team action. Yeah, should be alright because Ora Mensah's in it, so I can't say it'll be a banger because he's not very popular. It will be a banger in real life because he's good, but like he's not over is what I'm trying to get at. 84 rated match. With nobody at ringside, Damian Priest beats Xavier Woods clean of a South of Heaven in 14:04. 89 for Woods, 79 for Priest, which means 84 is bang in the middle, so that's perfect. But yeah, you know, Woods is trying to get in King of the Ring, but losses like that, you know, not to, you know, downplay Damian Priest, because, you know, he's still an upper mid-carder, but like, he needs to be getting wins, and defeats clean to Damian Priest aren't exactly King of the Ring winning form for Xavier Woods. A lot of people on Raw right now, I've noticed, are having identity crises. Xavier Woods, he's just coming out of it. You know, he had one like towards the back end, like after Mania, he lost to Drew. He had a little depression arc. Becky, whatever the fuck's going on with her. Chad Gable had a bit of one. Amory Porter's having one. Finn Balor and AJ Styles are well, not Finn. AJ's having one. Yeah. Roxy, it seems, maybe. A lot of quote unquote losers on Raw right now. We then see Wes Lee talking to Gigi Dolan backstage. We can't hear what it's about. They're just having a chat. It doesn't matter. And then Buddy Murphy does walk up. He goes, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And then Wes Lee goes, "Do you mind?" And then Gigi walks off. You know. And then Buddy goes, "Hey, it's about last week, you know." He goes, "Look, I apologize, you know. I let the adrenaline get to my head. I was frustrated I couldn't win my first match back on Raw. You were the better man, you know. It is what it is." But he goes, "You know, I'm flattered to hear that. You know, I supposed to just come here, check that we were all good and there was, you know, no beef between us." And Wade goes, "Hey, hell no, man, you know. We've both got the same goal here on Raw, and that's to show the world who we are and revitalize our careers. And I guess last week I was just annoyed that you got one step ahead of me." But he goes, "Well, you know, as long as we don't cross paths again, I'm sure you'll get there again, Wes." Then we just hear from off screen, Christian's there. And he goes, "Would you look at this, Dijak? It's the Losers Club. You know, I don't feel like we fit in. Actually, no, you might fit in here in the Losers Club, Dijak, because you lost to Cody Rhodes at Vengeance, but I'm too good for a place like this, okay?" So, Buddy, your old tag team partner, Buddy Murphy, you know, has he still got that robotic leg? Buddy goes, "Yeah, my leg's still got a titanium plate in it, yeah, you know. What happens when you get a broken leg, Christian?" He goes, "I didn't ask. Anyway, we just came here to, you know, to check on losers. This is like, show Dijak what happens if you keep losing here in WWE." And Wes steps, he goes, "Hey, you know, Dijak, you know, I might not be a big fan of his. You know, we might not see eye to eye, like, literally, but he lost one match in the main event of a pay-per-view. You know, he was the Intercontinental Champion. You know, he beat Randy Orton. He beat guys like that. He beat Edge. You couldn't beat Edge." Because he goes, "You watch your mouth, boy. I don't know who you think you're talking to. You're new around here. You haven't really proven anything to anybody. But next week, if you wanna, why don't you face off with my right hand of Justice, Dijak, and he'll teach you a lesson for running your mouth to me." And Wesley goes, "Sick, alright, see you out there." So yeah, Wesley's ran his mouth, and he's got himself a match with Dijak next week. We then see Top Dollar, sad and frustrated backstage, you know, on the verge of tears, and Batista walks up to him and he goes, "Oh, Dave, no, Dave, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." And he goes, "What do you think you're doing out there?" He goes, "You're a SmackDown talent. You got no business being on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what's going on in your head or who you think's against you, but you've got no business taking over Monday Night Raw. And what happened to you out there, while I don't condone what Bronson Steiner did, I will not be having words with him at a later date. You kind of got what you deserve for trying to hijack this show." So I thought, yeah, I've got a lot of what I deserve, it seems, over the last couple of weeks. I'm starting to think Ashante might have been right about me. Maybe I am just dead weight. And he leaves the arena. But he just goes, well, he's out of here. And just walks off. 79. Bianca hard carried, so we'll take that. But yeah, Bianca Belair and Shakara Jackson do pick up the win. When Bianca pins Zoe Stark with the KOD. 58 for Zoe, 62 for Sol, 42 for Chikara, and an 89 for Bianca Belair. After the match promo, she goes, Bayley, I hope you were watching, because you managed to, prove to the world that you were the greatest member of the 4 Horsewomen when you beat Becky and Charlotte and Sasha all in one match at WrestleMania to become the champion. You know who's beaten every single one of those women? Me. And I've also beat you, Bayley. So, you only got that championship because I was doing business over on SmackDown, dealing with little Candice out there. But now I'm here, the franchise player's back on this show, and she's coming for that championship. And Bayley goes, Bianca, first of all, congratulations on the win. Second of all, I didn't really get a chance to, welcome you back to Raw last week because you quickly, made an enemy out of me once again. Now, look, I'm not going to downplay your freakish athleticism, your incredible talent, and your star power and your place on this roster. That's great. You are one of the top stars here on Raw. But I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Cora. If you want a shot at my women's championship, you've got to earn it. And winning a tag team match, that might help boost your standings with Tegan and Piper, but not with me. And Bianca goes, well, what if I won a tag team match against you and beat you and got a title shot that way? And Bayley goes, well, I suppose that would work. Bianca goes, so, Bayley, if you're a fighting champion like you say you are, how about you find a friend, if you're as popular and beloved back there as you think you are, because I still think a lot of people back there still haven't forgiven you for the way you acted all these years. And you fight me and Chikara next week, and then, when I beat you, then you can't deny me my title shot, and I'll be coming to get it in Glasgow. Bayley goes, fine, if that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. I'll see you next week. So yeah, another tag. We've got Tag Team Frenzy next week. It's quite a stacked show. We've got a lot of matches set for next week, which makes a change from the one match we've had announced in the previous weeks. But yeah, Bayley has to find a friend to fight Bianca Belair and Shakara Jackson next week. And speaking of next week, there is that match we just heard made official just now. Bianca Belair and Shakara Jackson in tag team action against the women's champion Bayley and a partner if she can find one. I guess if she can't, it's a handicap match, but yeah, Bayley and a partner against Bianca Belair and Shakara Jackson next week. Speaking of, EST, the Elite Street Troupe, the other two members of that group, Oro Mensah and Montez Ford, will also be in tag team action next week when they team up to face AJ Styles and Finn Balor. They sort of had a realization that they need to remind the world who they are, and they maybe not be past it, and that Jay White might just be really good. So, they're looking to springboard themselves back into tag team rankings next week with that match. Plus, Wes Lee, he got into a bit of an altercation with Dijak and Christian backstage, and next week it is confirmed that we will see Wes Lee face off against the former Intercontinental Champion, the right hand of justice, Dijak. Plus, the main event for the Women's Liberty Championship. Rhea Ripley defends her championship against Alexa Bliss with no Tatum Paxley involvement. That's going to be the main event next week for the Liberty title, right here on Raw. Out comes Cody. Adrenaline in his soul. Whoa! He's coming down to sit at ringside and watch this fatal four-way main event. 95 rating. There we go. That's about what I expected. So, we allocate like half an hour for this. This match goes 27 minutes 31. Because it's four, of the top guys on Raw fighting out for a world title shot. It's going to be a banger. I think this is actually Punk's first match that isn't a 99. Because I think him and AJ against Johnny and Candice got 99 as well. I can't remember. But yeah. So, LA Knight, Chad Gable, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. 4 very different styles, 4 very different wrestlers. All with somewhat valid claims to the throne. And this is basically, a good portion of this is a showcase for Gable. Because Gable is, you look at him and you think he's the outplaced one. But he did sort of, also have issues with Gunter, and, you know, you could say that him wearing Gunter down helped Cody win at WrestleMania. So he's going wild out there. He's hitting suplexes on Punk and Seth and LA Knight. You know, he's locking ankle locks in. You know, he's going all full Perk Gable, right? And we then see, you know, LA Knight, he's doing his thing. You know, he's not got the most exciting moveset, but he's there, you know, to hit his big spots. Go LA Knight, yeah, and all that. And Seth and Punk, maybe they'll have one big spot, you know, where, like, Seth will break up a pin, and then they'll get into it, but largely they're apart for most of the match. Because they've wrestled twice now, you know. But the finish comes, LA Knight is in the ring, him and Chad Gable. LA Knight goes to hit the BFT on Gable. Gable, like, backs him against, he, like, catches him before, you know, as he goes to, like, slam his head down. Gable scoops him in that position, he hits a German suplex. O'Connor rolls him into the corner, hits that Chaos Theory, and then he turns around, CM Punk's there. And Gable and Punk get into it for a little bit. They do some, like, grappling on the floor because, you know, CM Punk's a pervert like that. He'd definitely do it. And then, you know, Gable grabs him for a Chaos Theory. Punk counters that. He gets Gable on his shoulders. He hits the go to sleep on Chad Gable. 1, 2. Seth Rollins flies in. He stomps CM Punk down as he's pinning Gable. Punk rolls away. And then Rollins grabs the pin on Chad Gable. 1, 2, 3. And Seth Rollins, what a rebound win. You know, I know he lost at the pay-per-view, but again, I specified that Becky took the fall for a reason. One part of that reason was so that Becky could undergo her character change. And the other part was because I knew Seth was getting the title shot and I didn't want him to eat the pin. So, yeah. But he stole this right from under the nose of CM Punk. You know, Punk was pinning Gable, and then Seth stomped him, and he got the pin, stealing it on Chad Gable, and now we know, in Glasgow, at the Hydro, Seth freaking Rollins will challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, straight out of 2022, straight out of the greatest story ever told in Challenge Run. We're getting this is kind of the official sequel to that, because, you know, we never got that rematch. But we're getting it now. Clash of the Castle, which is an important venue for Seth as well. Because at the last Clash of the Castle, that's where he ended Roman Reigns' run. That was a big, big pay-per-view in the history of Challenge Run. Could Seth and Cody at this year's event be even bigger? We're about to find out. Because it is set. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, WWE Championship at Clash at the Castle. The rematch Seth has been waiting, you know, 14 months for. It's finally about to happen. 89 rated show. I'll take that. It's because of the botched opening match, which is still fucking annoying me. Knowing that I've just crowned somebody who can't wrestle for that belt the number one contender because the game, like, forced my hand, is irritating. But we move. Yeah. And I'll see you on the other side for Heat. Heat kicks off with Brandy Rose in her office again, you know, running down the show. She goes, you know, I was keeping tabs of, you know, what RJ City was doing over there on Velocity on Friday. And I think it's time that, you know, we spotlighted some of the young stars here of the women's division. So, you know, we've got a number of names here from NXT and, you know, AAA and other developmental, you know, rising stars of the WWE, the future of the industry, you could say. Here tonight, taking over Heat, including the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions who will be in action in our main event. And then Kiana James walks into frame again. Just simply hands a notice to Brandy and goes, "You're being served, Brandy. This is the final time we're going to meet like this." Brandy goes, "I still don't know what the hell you want with me." Kiana goes, "It's fine." And she just walks out. Brandy goes, "Well, what the fuck? Okay, never mind." 62 rated opener. You know, Kyrie, she's been dropped to SmackDown. She didn't appear on this week's show, but she's, you know, here wrestling Kelani Jordan. And, you know, seeing Kalani's face has reminded me that I need to go in and add the women's North American title to NXT, so I'll do that after this show. But yeah, Kyrie Sane does defeat Kelani Jordan in 13-17 with the insane elbow. 73 for Kyrie, 29 for Kelani. You know, this is a spotlight for a bunch of NXT people, more so I can see how they're getting on. But more so than anything, because, you know, I like to keep my rosters fresh, so, you know, we could see some new faces coming up at some point. So I like to see, just check in on the NXT people, how they're doing. This is the only non-NXT match on the show. Women's tag team action as Persia Pirotta and Indy Hartwell defeat DKE. Persia pins Hams with a total blackout in 8:41. 56 for Persia, 55 for Indy, 83 for Morgan, and 72 for Hams. So yeah, they're scoring really good, but they're still, they're young and finding their feet, Chase U students, so, Indy and Persia, the dominant, well, not really dominant, but bigger, more powerful tag team, picking up the win here. 71, I had high hopes for this, and it delivered. Katrina Cortez and Blair Davenport. Katrina is, of course, in AAA. I never, she's always been in my development, or I moved her over to AAA because, she's a luchadora. And yeah, she comes up with Blair Davenport and has a banger here on Heat. Blair does win in 10:44, but Katrina really impresses. She gets a 58 to Blair's 69. They have pretty good chemistry. And yeah, who knows, maybe she can team with Beatrice one day because they are both Chilean. Shout out Jandres the GOAT. Then a 57 rated main event. That's funny. Carmen Petrovic and this regen named Annette Cell take on Alba Fire and Iona Webb. And the game says that they have absolutely zero chemistry at partners, they being Carmen and Annette Cell. Which is funny, because they're the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They've got no chemistry. Okay. But, I can't really rate them fairly, because the chemistry's dinged their ratings by a lot, because it says absolutely zero, which is like the worst chemistry note you can get. But Alba and Iona do win anyway. Alba Fire pins Annette Cell with a gory bomb, just under a week after she pinned Blair Davenport on ECW. So yeah, 69 for Alba, 63 for Iona, 22 for Carmen, and 27 for Annette, which ends the show, or so we think. Because the show does go off the air with the Next Gen girls leaving Brandy Rhodes' office. Kathy Cool takes the notice that Kiana James handed Brandy, just rips it up and say, "That's what we call being served." And then they all walk off and we see Brandy has been laid out in the office. 62 rating, that's fine for Heat. Nice little NXT spotlight with, another cliffhanger angles only ever happen on Heat if they involve Next Gen, I've noticed. But yeah. What matters more is I'll you for the show, mainly of Raw, and I'll see you next time for ECW, the second episode of the Russo era, bro. I'll see you then, bro, for extremely crappy wrestling.